Welcome everyone to our AtmosO2 webinar. As you come onto the call today, please let us know where you're joining us from, just in the chat. Okay, well, we like to start these calls on time, which we do appreciate you turning up on time. My name is Michael Faust, I'm joining you from Thailand today, and it's my great pleasure to introduce Dager Contreras, our CEO. I've had the privilege of working with him over the last few months and knowing him for a lot longer. And he's a true professional, very hard working at what he does, and he's a real asset to AtmosO2. So Dager, over to you. If you can just give us your camera and mic, let me know we got you loud and clear here.
Perfect, Michael. Yeah, got the camera, got the mic going. Can you hear me okay?
All good. Over to you. Thanks for joining us. Perfect.
Welcome everybody to this corporate update. I appreciate you taking the time from wherever you are in the world. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. As Michael mentioned, this call will be recorded and available for you to listen in the future, or for those that have not or were unable to join us, as well as this update, which I'm going to share with you now. We will make sure to make that available to everybody. I'll post it in the Telegram group, and we'll post it in the back office as soon as we're done with this meeting. So Michael, if you can confirm with me that you're able to see my screen.
Yep, coming through loud and clear, and see your screen.
Perfect, thank you. So I always like to make things brief, keep it simple and straight to the point. So first, before I get started, just again, thanks everybody for joining. We're very excited about the progress we've made and where we are so far. A lot of good announcements that I will be making today, and of course many more to come. We're working very hard every single day to make sure that everything we promised you becomes reality, and we are headed in that direction. So things are looking great. I posted an announcement yesterday briefly with just a couple of announcements. So this announcement today is an expansion of what I posted yesterday. So the first couple of bullet points that you will see are based on the announcements from yesterday. As many of you know, we were waiting for cards to arrive. And by the way, I'm not going to read this verbatim. You can read that later. I'll just explain each bullet directly to you. The cards, we were waiting for the cards to arrive. They finally did arrive on Friday here at the LA office. And we are sorting through the first batch of cards. As a matter of fact, here is a picture of many of the cards that we're getting ready to mail out later today and tomorrow. Actually, technically for some of you would be tomorrow. So Wednesday Pacific time, we'll start mailing these cards out. The good news is we did test the card. We wanted to make sure that when you received them, there was no issues, and successfully were able to make purchases, test the card. Everything's working perfect as expected. So many of you that originally received the faulty card that did not have your name on it and that did not have the chip, these cards will be replacing those. There are many of you as well that have already passed the KYC, and those cards are en route to us. So essentially the process that happens is once you get approved for your KYC, a card is assigned in your back office by the card provider, and at that point, they go ahead and print the card, and they ship that card over to our office where we further validate, and then we ship it out to you. So I know that adds an extra few days, but it just makes the process a little bit cleaner, and it allows for us to verify and make sure that there are no issues with the card before you receive it. As mentioned before, and I don't have that in this update, but I want to mention it. This process will become a little bit quicker once we have a much larger printer that we've already acquired or essentially signed up with, and they will be doing all the printing for us. They're based out of Colorado, one of the largest printers in the US, and they should be coming online in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's somewhat of a process to get them online, but again, just to be clear, everything has been handled with them, and we're just waiting for the procedures to take place and for them to be ready for us. And that will allow us to print thousands of cards much quicker and be prepared to service every single affiliate that's coming on board. So that's the update on the cards. Back office verification. We had you know, as we always do, we listen to the field. We're always trying to simplify and make things a little bit easier for everybody. And one of the things that we found that people were getting stuck on was the two-factor authentication that we had at the enrollment process, which it's a requirement for our wallet, and it's for our licensing. It's a compliance requirement that we need to verify the individuals or have some form of security. And that two-factor authentication, which was validating your email and your cell phone number, that was part of the procedures that we've had in our wallet prior to Atmos ever launching. But we did find that some countries have trouble receiving SMS messages. Some people were having delays receiving their email, and it was creating a bottleneck at the enrollment process. And I completely understand the importance of making an enrollment into a network marketing company simplified so that people can move a little faster. So we decided to go ahead and remove that function. And instead, what we've done is we've implemented a PIN-based verification or a PIN-based security feature. Those of you that are already in the system, next time you log in, if you haven't done so already, the first thing the system is going to ask you is to select a PIN. Once you pick that PIN will be required within the back office to do certain types of transactions. For example, if you're executing a commission withdrawal, this is for your protection, this is for your security, it will ask you to put in your PIN. If for any reason you ever forget your PIN, you'll just be able to contact customer support. They'll be able to reset that PIN for you after they verify certain personal information within your profile. So this should definitely alleviate the initial bottleneck of people at enrollment and make life a little bit easier. Next one is withdrawal procedures. I know Michael posted some information, so I just want to make sure that it is further clarified through this document so you understand how withdrawals operate, why they function this way, and that way there are no surprises to you. So the way commissions are paid is as follows. Withdrawal procedures, commissions are processed every Saturday, okay? And withdrawals are made available every Friday. So essentially the way it works is as follows. Commissions earned between Saturday through Friday become available for processing Friday night. Some of you may have noticed there's a timer within the commissions that are showing up. So when, let's say you sponsor somebody or you make a sale and you earn 20% commission, that commission reflects immediately, but there's a timer in the back office that shows you when it will become available for withdrawal. And it's usually Friday night. Bangkok time is, I think, the time that we're using. Once they become available for processing, you will still need to execute that withdrawal manually. And this is, again, for your security and because there are a couple of options that you can select, and we can't make those options for you. One is you can choose to move those funds directly into your FFIB bank account, which essentially would convert into your card. The other option is, of course, you can provide us with your BTC wallet and we can send you the Bitcoin directly to you. Once you execute that manually, all requests are processed the following Saturday. So I drew a little chart here for you. So let's assume this is a Saturday here. Anytime between this Saturday and the following Friday is when you can earn commissions, which would become payable the following Saturday. So for example, here this Saturday, anytime between this Saturday and this Friday, let's assume that you sponsor people. You sponsored somebody on Saturday, one on Wednesday, one on Friday. Okay, these commissions would reflect immediately, but they will not become available until Friday night. Once they become available, then essentially what I recommend is you hop in. If you're expecting commissions, you hop into your back office anytime between Friday and the following Saturday, because anytime between this Friday and the following Saturday is when you can choose to withdraw these funds. And as I mentioned, your selections would be to transfer it to your card or FFIB, your bank account, or you can just withdraw the Bitcoin. That following Saturday, we do a batch process of all the commissions that were withdrawn this prior week. Now, let's assume that maybe you did not withdraw this week and you forgot about it, or you just did not realize you had commissions. That's okay. These commissions, once they become available, they'll always be there waiting for you. In fact, I recommend all of you to check your back office, because I have noticed that there's actually quite a bit of commissions that are outstanding that nobody has withdrawn. They're there waiting for you. So if you have a chance, hop in there and see if you have any commissions that are pending to be withdrawn, so that we can go ahead and process them and get them out to you.
Dager, can you confirm, can they use their back office earnings to actually buy a pack or upgrade to a higher pack?
Can they? Ooh, that's a good question. I'll have to look into that. I'm actually not sure, Michael.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll need to find out. Okay, next update, guys, corporate accounts. So this one, I do regret to inform you that at this time, the bank, and now most of you do know this, but this is just some additional information that we gathered based on some conversations we had today directly with the bank. The FFIB is a personal account bank. They're not 100% set up for corporate accounts. That does not mean that they're not allowed to do corporate accounts. They just don't do corporate accounts. So their system is not fully KYC or KYB ready to accommodate corporate accounts and corporate cards. So as a result of that, I know that there's not a lot of you, but there are several individuals that have applied within their corporate name. Now, my understanding is the main reason you use corporations, which is something I've done in the past as well, is primarily for tax reasons and just for other purposes. It's always better to run your business in a corporate or LLC or any type of entity versus running your business in your personal name. So just always think AtmosO2 versus the card itself. They're two separate items. Okay, so in the back office or within AtmosO2, you can still run your business in your corporate name. But the card itself, and even once we implement corporations, the card itself is still going to need your name on it. Even if you have a corporate account or a corporate credit card, I'm sure you'll notice typically it'll have your name along with your corporate name on it. So nothing would be different here, except that the cards, we're just not ready to provide corporate cards. So these are still personal cards. You can run your business in your entity, in your business. What we're going to do in the next couple of days is we're going to add an additional field at the enrollment process and also to your profile that'll be named DBA. So essentially when you sign up, just like you do now, you're still going to be required to input your name, your first, last name, your personal information. But in the DBA field, that's where you're going to go ahead and put your corporate name or your corporation or whatever entity it is that you're doing business as. And should you ever need to do, tax reporting or whatever for under your corporation, then anything that happens within AtmosO2 commissions everything would be reflected in your corporate name, not in your personal name. The card itself will still be in your name, however. Okay. Next one is renewals. We've listened to you. We've heard from some people stating that nobody has received their cards, which we're fully aware of. And of course, some of you have already been signed up for 2-3 months. So what we're going to do is to accommodate everybody and just to thank you for your patience for us getting the cards out to you. Every single person that has signed up through today, we're going to go ahead and modify the system so that your renewal is not due until January 1st, 2020. Okay, so that essentially gives you a full year without having to renew. And that's going to be applicable to every single person that has signed up through now. This system change will also be implemented in the coming days. What will happen is once we implement that as well, I've chosen to do the following because we know that it could take as little as 10 days to get your card, but it could take as long as 2, 3, 4 weeks, depending on what part of the world you're in and how your mailing system operates. So we're going to give everybody who initially signs up an additional 30 days for the renewal. So for example, if you sign up December 1st, your first renewal would not be due until January 1st of the following year, giving you 13 months versus 12 months for the first renewal. The second renewal and going forward, those would just happen every 12 months. So hopefully this will help everybody and gives you time to receive the card and to get things going. Next update that we're going to be doing to the system is loading the card funds at sign up. Now, this is going to be something that's optional, but we've had requests from individuals and we've opted to add this. I think it's actually a great idea and it would help a lot of people and it will help you get the ball rolling and get your card loaded a lot faster. So what we're going to be adding at the enrollment process is when you select your package, whatever package that may be, 125, 250, 750, you will also have the option at that moment in time to add additional funds, which would be loaded to your FFIB or bank wallet account. Those funds would sit there until you receive your card, so that once you get your card and you activate it, instantly you can go ahead and move those funds to the card and begin using the card right away, versus activating the card and then having to go into your back office, loading the funds, possibly if you're using wiring the funds, which could add additional delays on loading your card. So you can load $50, $20, $1,000. It's up to you, whatever you want to load. I do want to be clear that this is, again, optional. You don't have to select this. And also, if for any reason you get declined and you opt to not continue, then obviously these funds would be refunded to you immediately and sent to your bank account or to wherever you want us to send them to. Next one, which relates to this topic, is the mention of Bitcoin, especially as a source of income. Don't do it. Okay, we already had one instance. From time to time, the bank, FFIB, or bank wallet representatives may contact you for whatever reason. They maybe need to follow up. They're not clear on some of your information before approving the KYC. So they may contact you for further information. We had one instance where an individual was contacted and they were asked what is their source of income, and they responded Bitcoin. That is definitely not a source of income in any way. And banks are still very hesitant when it comes to the word Bitcoin. And obviously, especially in these volatile markets, banks are just not ready to handle that, which is the reason why we've implemented our system the way we have, which includes various interfaces that we're utilizing with the various service providers. We have multiple companies all involved at the same time. We have a card provider, we have a wallet system, we have Ocular, which is providing the entire ecosystem for this. We have FFIB, who's an independent bank, but all these pieces are put together, which is why it's taken us this long to get all these pieces working. Just like many other credit cards or debit cards that are out there, which have taken months. If you look at, for example, Monaco, which is a technically quote unquote crypto card, it's taken them months. Actually, it's taken them almost 2 years to finally begin distributing cards. And even at that point, they're still fairly limited as to where they can distribute cards. So there's a lot of moving parts to putting a program such as this together. So hopefully you understand that. And when you're talking to the bank, please do not use the word Bitcoin. Just avoid it. It's a no-no in banking, and they will not approve you. Next one is marketing material. We finally got the last piece of marketing material, which was outstanding. So we do have three final versions of the following: the compensation plan overview, which Michael will be posting shortly. We have the opportunity presentation, and we have the frequently asked questions. We are working on more material and videos, especially videos that will show you how to enroll, how to approve, or how to activate your card, how to load funds. These are all going to be very short 2 to 3 minute videos that are going to be posted in the YouTube channel as well as in the back office. So be sure to, if you have not done so, go to the YouTube channel for AtmosO2. Be sure to subscribe, and when you watch the videos, be sure to like the videos and just do all the functions that gets us higher and higher within the YouTube world, and it gives you more functions and functionalities within there. Next one is terms and conditions and the compliance guidelines. We know that currently when you enroll, you have access to the terms and the conditions. When you sign up, you go through the compliance guidelines and you accept those. But my understanding is that you don't have access to them once you've signed up. So we're going to go ahead and make those available in the back office with a hyperlink or within the news or announcement section, so that you can refer back to those anytime you need to. And again, these are all changes that will be coming in the next few days. Our developers will make all these updates, and then I'll make an announcement of which day all the different updates will take place. All right, next one is the newsletter feature. You may or may not have noticed that in the back office, we added a newsletter feature. The purpose of this is to further be able to communicate with you, not just through the back office, not just through Telegram, but now with the newsletter feature, you'll be able to get an email with all these updates Every single person that's in the system is automatically signed up for the newsletter. However, the newsletter, for legal reasons, it does have to be optional. So if you feel that you're getting bombarded with emails and you want to opt out of it, you simply just log into your back office, and I believe you go into settings or profile, and you'll be able to turn off the newsletter. But I encourage you to keep it on. It's just another way for us to communicate with you, and hopefully most of you have access readily available through to your email as you do through Telegram. So again, it would be optional. You can opt out of it, but it's an additional feature that we wanted to add. Last thing I'll mention is we've talked about a sales contest because of all the different things that we've been working on to get things where we're at today. We have not announced that yet, but I do want you to know that that announcement will come in the next 2 days. The contest will be a 60-day contest that'll run from December 1st through January 31st as we prepare for the official launch, which has not been scheduled yet, but it will happen in the first quarter of next year. Very likely, and I'll give you a soft date, very likely in early February or after Chinese New Year. Sometime around there is when we will do our official launch. So just keep those dates in mind. In the meantime, we'll run this contest. We'll make sure that we give the winners some very nice awards, very nice bonuses. So just be on the lookout for that. It's coming in the next 2 days before December 1st. I'll make sure we post that to you. At this point, Michael, I'm actually done with the announcements for this webinar. And again, just thank you everybody for your time. Very exciting times here on our end. We do apologize for the delays, but we hope you understand why there's delays, and more importantly, why we're doing everything that we're doing. We want to make sure that this company is a long-term company. We want to make sure that everything we're doing is within compliance and making sure that there are no hiccups along the way. So being that we are dealing with a financial product, we are dealing with bank accounts and credit cards and so forth, you know, there's certain requirements that you may not be accustomed to, such as KYC. You know, I understand many companies don't require this, but just understand it is the nature of the product, the nature of the services we're providing, and it's just something that that everybody should get used to, because the future in many areas is going to continue to require KYC and knowing your customers and knowing your business. So with that said, Michael, I'll pass it back to you just for some closing words, and I leave you all. Thank you again for listening, and look forward to the next announcement coming soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Dager. Another great update. It's actually really good to work with a professional. I've had a great time working with the AtmosO2 team. They're just an absolute pleasure to work with, and it's great to have somebody like Dager as a CEO who not only understands the actual financial side of this, but also running a global business, and also the network marketing industry as well, understands that very well. So thanks everyone for your time today. We'll edit this and get up on the YouTube channel in the next few hours. It's great to have a company that listens. If you listen to the announcements that have been made today, you will see that they accept that when things don't work out, they put things in place to value you as a customer. And a lot of those changes that have been made, or the enhancements they've made, have recognized that. So you should feel good about being involved with AtmosO2. On that note, we'll say goodbye and look forward to the next update. We will have details coming out of the next webinar soon, and get ready for the competition, folks. I mean, Christmas, festive season, New Year is a fantastic time to put cards in the hands of people. When do people spend the most amount of money? Well, those shops out there are incentivizing everyone with all their sales to spend. So why not get them spending on their AtmosO2 card, getting cashback bonuses, you earning the residual commissions on that as well, and also earning the commissions on the packages. So this is normally a time when people tend to go to sleep in this industry, but to be honest, for us, this should be a time where you get the most activity overall. So think about that. The next 60 days is a really, really good time to lay the foundation in 2018 on a really positive note, and have that as a launching pad into 2019, which can be your best year yet. Thanks, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.